welcome to this deep dive all about screen time and, the impact it has on little kids.
Yeah, it's definitely a hot topic these days.
It really is, and we're really going to dig deep today, going way beyond just like the typical headlines and stuff.
Absolutely.
We're going to get into the actual research.
Yeah, we've got some really interesting sources lined up for today's deep dive.
Yeah, we do.
We've got a big study looking at how well families are actually following those screen time recommendations for kids under 5.
Okay.
And then we've got some research that connects screen time and outdoor play to development by the time kids are 4.
Uh-huh.
And then a really interesting article that wants to bring back free play
I love that.
in a big way.
Okay, so let's start with that first source you mentioned.
Okay.
The one about how many kids are meeting those screen time guidelines. I gotta admit, when I saw these findings, I was pretty surprised.
Yeah, well, get ready to be even more surprised.
Okay.
This meta-analysis looked at a huge sample size, over 89,000 children from 95 studies
Wow.
across the globe.
Okay.
And only 25% of kids under 2 are actually meeting those recommendations.
Wow.
And for the 2 to the 5-year-olds, it's still only 36%.
So only a quarter of those little ones.
Yeah.
That's way lower than I would have thought.
It is pretty surprising.
It makes you think about, all the families, with young kids, and you wonder what their habits really are.
It really does prompt some reflection.
Yeah, for sure.
And it leads us perfectly to our second source,
Okay.
the study that really digs into the impact of all this screen time.
Okay.
What they found is that there's a direct link between higher screen time at age 2 and then having poorer communication skills by age 4.
Oh, wow. So even within that short, 2-year span,
Yeah.
we're seeing these measurable effects.
Exactly.
That's significant.
It is, and it wasn't just communication skills.
Right. They also looked at daily living skills.
Exactly, and they found that more screen time was associated with lower scores in those daily living skills as well.
So, okay, less screen time seems like the obvious takeaway here.
Yeah.
But then where does outdoor play fit into all this?
That's a great question, and I think this is where that 18% figure comes in.
Okay.
This same study found that frequent outdoor play, when kids were 2 years and 8 months old, actually lessened the negative impact of that screen time on daily living skills.
Oh, wow.
By 18% to be exact.
Okay, so it's not just about taking away the screens. It's
Okay.
about adding in this positive thing.
Exactly.
Something that can counterbalance some of those negative effects.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
It is.
But is it like a magic bullet, though?
Well, that's a great question.
Are there any downsides to think about?
While outdoor play is a powerful tool, it's not a cure-all.
Right.
We have to remember that there are other things that could affect this.
Yeah.
Like the quality of the screen time, the child's development overall, and the family circumstances.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so this finding about outdoor play really leads us to that third source.
Okay.
The article that makes this argument that we need to bring back or resurrect free play in our kids' lives.
Yes.
And their argument goes way beyond just exercise.
Absolutely.
Right.
They're pushing for a much broader view of play,
Okay.
particularly unstructured outdoor play.
Uh-huh.
And they focus on its impact on a child's development, not just physically, but cognitively, socially, and emotionally.
Oh, wow.
They break it down into what they call the 3 A's:
Oh, I love that.
attention, affiliation, and effect.
Okay, I love a good framework. Let's break that down.
Okay.
What do those 3 A's actually mean when we talk about child development?
So attention, think of that as building cognitive muscle.
Okay.
When kids play outdoors, especially in those ever-changing and stimulating environments,
Right.
they're naturally developing problem-solving skills, they're getting creative,
Mm-hmm.
and strengthening their executive functioning.
Okay, so it's not just about having fun.
Right.
It's actually building essential skills.
Exactly.
I like it. What about the second affiliation?
Affiliation.
I'm guessing that's all about, social skills.
You nailed it.
Okay.
Playgrounds and parks, they become like these incredible social laboratories
Well, that's a good way to put it.
where kids are interacting, negotiating, learning to cooperate, and building those social skills that are so important.
Yeah, it's like playtime is actually a form of social boot camp,
Yeah,
but way more fun.
exactly.
Okay, and it makes sense, right?
Yeah.
If they have those opportunities to practice those skills early on,
Yeah,
they're going to be better at building those relationships throughout their lives.
absolutely.
Okay, so what about affect?
Affect.
That one seems a little more nuanced.
Yeah, affect is all about the emotional benefits.
Okay.
Think about the pure joy of a child running through a sprinkler,
Right.
the thrill of swinging high in the air,
Yeah.
or the satisfaction of building a sandcastle.
Uh-huh.
These are all experiences that help kids regulate their emotions, reduce stress, and just feel good.
And when kids feel good, they're more likely to want to do those activities over and over again,
Exactly.
which reinforces those positive emotions.
It's a beautiful cycle.
Yeah, it is. But I'm curious, what are your thoughts about those statistics from the first source?
Okay.
The one showing that so few kids are actually meeting those screen time recommendations.
Yeah,
What do you think are the biggest barriers for parents?
that's a great question, and one that deserves further exploration.
Yeah. Okay, so before we jump into the barriers that parents face
Yeah.
when it comes to screen time, I want to circle back to that study.
Okay.
We were discussing earlier, the one linking screen time and outdoor play to development by age 4.
Mm-hmm.
So we talked about communication skills
Yeah.
and daily living skills,
Mm-hmm.
but they also measured something called socialization, which I thought was super interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting that they didn't find a direct link between screen time
Okay.
and lower socialization scores.
Ah.
But they did find that frequent outdoor play
Oh.
was positively associated
Oh, wow.
with those scores.
So it doesn't necessarily mean that screen time is like directly hurting social development,
Right.
but it seems like outdoor play is actively helping it.
Yeah.
Like it takes a village.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it takes playground too.
I like that.
But let's go back to this idea of nuance
Oh,
that we
quick.
were talking about,
Yeah.
because I remember that the study found something kind of unexpected when it came to communication skills and outdoor play.
Yeah, they found that even frequent outdoor play didn't lessen that negative association between screen time and poorer communication skills.
Huh.
So it raises the question.
Yeah, what other factors are we not considering here?
Exactly.
Like, are there certain types of screen time that are worse than others when it comes to language development?
It's a great question.
Or is it about what that screen time is replacing?
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Like, imagine a kid who spends hours just passively watching videos.
Right,
They're missing out on those back and forth interactions with caregivers.
right.
Those rich conversations
Yeah.
that are so important for language learning.
Yeah, and it's not just about, like, vocabulary.
Yeah.
It's about learning to read those social cues, facial expressions, understanding tone of voice,
All those things
all that stuff.
that make up communication.
That makes me think about how we often hear it's not just about the quantity of screen time, but also the quality,
Yeah.
like maybe some of those interactive apps
Right.
where kids are actually engaging with the content.
Yeah, problem solving using language.
Yeah.
Those might be beneficial.
Okay, so maybe those are okay.
It's a possibility.
Yeah.
It's something that researchers are still looking into.
Okay.
But for now, it seems like focusing on giving kids a balance of experiences,
Yeah.
including plenty of opportunities for those face-to-face interactions,
Mm-hmm.
seems to be key.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's not about saying all screen time is bad. It's
Yeah.
about making sure that it's not crowding out those other essential experiences,
Exactly.
especially the ones that support those 3 A's we were talking about.
Yes. And those 3 A's are what really stood out to me
Yeah.
in that article that wants to bring back free play.
Mm-hmm.
They argue that those outcomes,
Okay.
like a child's ability to focus and connect with others and experience joy,
Yeah.
those are the things that will really resonate with parents.
Yeah. It's like we're speaking a language that parents understand.
Exactly.
And we're tapping into those desires that we all have for our kids. Like we
Right.
want them to be engaged and happy and thriving.
Exactly.
And I remember we talked about the importance of using words that feel more positive and motivating.
Yes.
I love that the article's authors say that just replacing the terms like physical activity or exercise
Oh,
with
yeah.
play
Yeah.
can make a big difference
Absolutely.
in how parents view these activities.
All about framing.
Yeah.
Play brings back those happy childhood memories.
Yeah, exactly.
It feels more natural, more fun.
Yeah.
Not like something you have to do.
Right.
And it's not just about the words.
Okay.
They also highlight the importance of unstructured play,
Mm-hmm.
where kids can really take the lead,
Mm-hmm.
explore their own interests without an adult directing them.
So it's that time for them to like build their own little worlds,
It's it.
negotiate the rules, discover what they're passionate about.
It's about fostering that sense of wonder and creativity
Yeah.
and independence.
Okay, but let's be realistic here.
Okay.
In today's world, with everybody's busy schedules and screens everywhere,
Yeah.
how do we actually make space for this kind of play?
It's a challenge, for
Yeah.
sure. But I love how the article doesn't just present the problem.
Okay.
They actually offer some solutions.
Oh, good.
You talk about having safe outdoor spaces,
Okay.
playgrounds that cater to different ages and abilities,
Uh-huh.
and even advocating for traffic calming measures in neighborhoods.
It's about creating those environments
Yeah.
where kids feel safe and they feel like they can explore.
And be kids.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. And it's not just about changing infrastructure.
Right.
It's about shifting our mindsets.
Absolutely.
We need to stop thinking of play as like a luxury
Yeah.
or something we squeeze in.
Only if there's time.
Yeah.
It needs to be seen as essential.
Yes, it's as crucial for development as like good nutrition, sleep.
And love and care.
Yeah, it's about recognizing that in those seemingly frivolous moments of play,
Yeah.
something really profound is happening.
It is.
Kids are learning.
Yeah.
They're growing.
They're becoming the best versions of themselves.
This has been a great discussion.
Yeah.
But now I'm thinking about those parents who are listening,
Yeah.
maybe feeling a little bit overwhelmed by all this information.
Yeah, I can see that.
What are some things they can actually do
Okay.
to bring back free play in their kids' lives? Like, what would you recommend?
Well, first, it's important to remember that small changes can make a big difference.
Okay.
Maybe it's just about carving out 30 minutes of unstructured time in your family's schedule.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be a huge production.
Right. Or maybe it's about rethinking how your family uses screens. Like, what if instead of defaulting to screens during those downtime moments,
Yeah,
you gave your kids some open-ended materials?
I love that.
Like blocks, art supplies, even cardboard boxes can spark so much creativity.
Yeah, it's about that shift
Yeah,
from passive consumption to active creation.
I like that. And remember, you don't have to do this all alone.
Absolutely not.
Connect with other parents
Yes.
in your community, organize play dates at the park.
Share ideas.
Yeah,
Share resources.
takes a village.
It really does.
I'm really starting to see how outdoor play is about so much more than just entertainment.
Absolutely.
It's about nurturing these core parts of development
Yes.
that contribute to a really fulfilling life. You know, we've covered a lot of ground
Go for it.
from, those eye-opening stats about screen time guidelines
Right.
to the power of outdoor play.
Absolutely. And as promised, we're going to wrap things up by really exploring those different types of play that can benefit kids at different ages and stages.
Okay, sounds good.
So remember those 3 A's:
Yes.
attention, affiliation, and effect.
Yes, I do.
Different kinds of play can really support each of those.
Okay, let's start with a toddler.
Okay.
Completely absorbed in building a tower out of blocks.
Yeah.
Like, what is happening in their little brains?
That's attention in action.
Oh, I love it.
They're figuring out spatial relationships,
Huh?
experimenting with cause and effect,
Mm-hmm.
developing those fine motor skills.
And it might look like child's play to us,
It does.
but those little brains are working so hard.
Oh, they are.
It's amazing how much learning is packed into those everyday moments.
It is.
We really underestimate the power of play as adults.
We do. We think of it as frivolous
Yeah,
or unproductive,
right.
but it's really the foundation
Yeah.
for so many essential skills.
Okay, so we talked about toddlers. What about a preschooler?
Okay, so think about a preschooler
Okay.
who's engaged in a make-believe game with friends.
Yeah.
They're creating those stories,
Mm-hmm.
negotiating roles,
Right.
navigating those social dynamics of play.
And that's affiliation, right?
Exactly. It's all about building those social and emotional skills that we know are crucial for healthy relationships.
It's like those early experiences on the playground have this ripple effect throughout their lives.
That's true,
Like they're
actually.
getting a crash course
I love that.
in empathy and cooperation.
Yeah, conflict resolution.
Yes, all disguised as fun and games.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've talked about attention affiliation. What about affect?
Affect.
That feeling of pure joy that we see.
Yeah, imagine a child swinging so high they feel like they're flying.
Oh, yeah.
The thrill of racing down a slide.
Yes.
These are all experiences that really tap into those big emotions
Uh-huh.
and help kids regulate their feelings and develop a sense of mastery over their bodies.
So play is a really powerful tool for
Yeah.
emotional well-being.
Absolutely.
And what I love about outdoor play is that it often combines all three
It does.
of those A's into a single experience.
Absolutely.
So picture this, a group of kids building a fort in the woods.
Okay, I like it.
They're collaborating, they're problem solving, they're
Yeah.
using their imaginations. That's attention.
Yeah.
They're negotiating, working together. That's affiliation.
Mhm.
And they're running, jumping, expressing themselves physically. That's affect.
It's a holistic experience.
Yes, it is.
It engages their minds, their bodies, and their hearts.
So as we consider the types of play that are most beneficial,
Yeah.
It's important to remember that development is a journey, not a destination.
It's not a race.
Exactly. So what a toddler loves,
Yeah.
a preschooler might not.
Might not be into it at all.
And a school-aged child might be looking for something completely different.
Right. They need different challenges.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So as parents and caregivers,
Yeah.
it's really our role to provide a variety of play opportunities.
Yes. Offer those open-ended materials that spark curiosity and invite exploration.
Right.
Create spaces where they can climb, run, test their physical limits, and then the most important part,
Yes.
step back and let them lead.
Yeah, trust their instincts.
Yes.
And let those magical moments of discovery happen.
It's in those moments of self-directed play that children really blossomed.
Okay, that brings me to another point from that article about resurrecting free play.
Yeah.
They emphasize that play shouldn't just be about burning calories or preventing obesity.
Absolutely.
It's about so much more than physical health.
It is.
It's about all those essential aspects of child development that contribute to a fulfilling life.
It's about fostering those skills and qualities that will help them thrive emotionally, socially, and intellectually.
Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive, we want to leave you with one final thought.
Okay, I like it.
So we've talked about the benefits of outdoor play,
Yes.
but we haven't really talked about the potential downsides of too much screen time.
That's a good point.
And this is where it gets really interesting, because we know that excessive screen time can interfere with sleep,
Yeah,
which is so important for development.
absolutely.
It can also crowd out those other valuable activities,
Right.
like reading creative play.
And those face-to-face interactions.
Exactly. So as you reflect on everything we've talked about today,
Yeah.
we encourage you to dig a little deeper into those potential downsides.
Explore the research
Yeah.
on the impact of screen time on vision, attention span, and social emotional development.
Think about the content your kids are seeing
Yes,
and how it might be influencing them.
absolutely.
And most importantly, think about how you can create a balanced media environment
Yeah.
in your home.
One that really prioritizes those experiences that nurture the whole child.
Yeah, childhood is such a precious time.
It is.
And it's up to us to make sure they experience all of its richness and wonder,
Absolutely.
both online and offline.
Well said.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive.
Yes. Thank you.
We hope you found it insightful and empowering.
We'll be back soon.
Yes, we will, with another deep dive into a topic that matters to you.
Until then,